Hey everyone, Clarkysj here. Before this video starts, I just want to talk about that I've been partnered with Strategy Roasters Coffee Company. Now, this coffee company literally does everything. They can literally deliver coffee to you. Not like actual like coffee, like drinks, but like they can order you the coffee ingredients and then you can make it from home. Like hot chocolate, medium roast coffee, light roast coffee, dark roast coffee, any type of coffee you want. And if you use code Clarky, you will get 5% off. So I just want to say thank you, Strategy Roasters Coffee Company, for letting me be in the content creation team for this. You are absolute legends. And again, there's other people out there that are getting this, like Caleb, JoeMate123, and Zazu. So I'll leave their codes in the description below as well, as you do get 5% off as well. But guys, thank you all so much. Thank you, Strategy Roasters Coffee Company, and enjoy the video. Hey everyone, Clarkysj here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm back, and today I'll be giving my first thoughts on what I think about Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies. Now, I will be mentioning some other Call of Duty Zombies games, but before anyone says, oh, that's a bit unfair, seeing as the game did just release, I'm only going to talk about their launches. So I'm going to talk about when say Cold War's launch. I'm not going to talk about Cold War as a whole as it is right now. I'm just going to talk about Cold War's launch, Black Ops 3's launch, Black Ops 4's launch, etc, etc. But yeah, and I just want to let you know this is my personal opinion on what I think about Vanguard Zombies. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comment section down below, as it does give a different perspective on this game. But yeah, let's get right into it. So Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies is really not the best game for people. A lot of people are really not liking this game. If you guys have seen the hate on Twitter recently, even the people who are like super big on YouTube around zombies are really not liking this game at all as well. A lot of people are saying this is worse than Black Ops 4 Zombies, and my god, I never thought we'd get a game where it's like people are treating this game like Black Ops 4 Zombies all over again. As a whole, Vanguard Zombies definitely does have its problems, and I can definitely see why. But I definitely do have my fun with it. I'm going to get rid of the negatives and everything that and out of the way. And then after that, we'll hop right into the positives. Because quite surprisingly, I actually do have a lot of positives I surprisingly do like. They might be the smallest things, but any positive counts, right? So let's get right into it. So for the negatives, my problem with the negatives is that there's really not much to do. Now within this zombies, it's basically like Outbreak and Onslaught and round base combined. Now honestly, I liked Outbreak, I liked Onslaught, and I definitely do like round base maps. But my only problem with something like this is that there really isn't much to do, especially with cool ass regions that we have, like the Windmill map, Shinonuma, and much more. But as a whole, it just definitely feels like we're not, like, you know, going to, like, it feels like we're not, like, getting enough. I wish there was maybe at least 2 more challenges. And again, I feel bad for Treyarch because they were in the time span on where they were making Cold War Zombies, and while they were making Cold War Zombies, they were still in the midst of still finishing off Black Ops 4, and then when they were finishing Cold War Zombies, they were in the midst of creating Vanguard Zombies, and with the amount of time that they had, we're left with this. So I definitely do feel bad for them, and I'm not going to push the blame on them completely. I'm really going to push the blame onto Activision, because this is what they done to Treyarch for BO4 and Cold War. And granted, I enjoyed BO4 and Cold War, whether they rushed them or not. Cold War is my second favourite game, and BO4 is my third favourite game out of Call of Duty Zombies. But as a whole, Vanguard Zombies took it to a different level where there's no round base at all. It's just simple Outbreak and Onslaught. Now, the Outbreak comes in where it's the only time you switch rounds is when you do an objective, and I'm going to give a big shout to Expert here because he brought up a good point. Every time you do an objective, that's when the round changes. But it definitely doesn't feel as if like the round's changing. The round counter at the top is just basically telling you how many objectives you've done, and when you do more objective as it goes on, say if you're on your 8th objective, it's going to be very difficult, or your 9th. Now, he took it as if it's telling you how many objectives you've done instead of just rounds. Granted, it's still considered waves / rounds, but at the same time, just because of how Outbreak in this game mode works, it is technically feels like as if it's not even rounds, it's just simply, oh, this is how many objectives you've done. For instance, at the top right corner, you see that I've done 6 objectives. The next one I'm going to do, which is the Harvest Challenge, is going to be my 7th challenge that I'm going to be doing, my 7th objective. And it definitely does feel very strange instead of just rounds. Now, I'm not going to say one of the negatives is round based. Well, at the same time, I really kind of am, but when I started playing this, I really wanted to play it early to the point where I made a New Zealand account and got this. And And as a whole, I did have fun. I thought it was okay. There's definitely a lot of changes that make this very difficult, to the point where people can only make it to round 20. I haven't even made it to round goddamn 30, it's that difficult, but I definitely do have quite some fun on this game. I haven't played it co-op yet, so it might be a different experience. I definitely do need to play it co-op, but just as of this morning, as of the time I'm recording this video, when I woke up, I'm like, I'm actually really excited to play some Vanguard Zombies. And I streamed Vanguard for a whole of like 8 to 7 hours last night, and I only played a good 3 games out of those few hours. Granted, it's only because the games, when you play one game in this, it's very, very long. And then as a whole, when it comes to going for high rounds, it is very, very difficult. And I only played on offline mode the whole time because I didn't have PS Plus on my New Zealand account, which I could have been bothered to buy. But hey ho, it's definitely really interesting. One of my biggest negatives about this is that there's no Pack Punch camo. Now, that definitely does upset me, because the Pack Punch camos that Treyarch brought into Cold War were very, very bloody nice. Like, the first Firebase Z's and D machines were very nice. It started off with an orange, then tier 2 was a green, then it was a type of purplish pink. Like, I very much liked that and what they'd done. But when it then came to Vanguard, there's no Pack Punch camos at all, and Treyarch are really known for their camos, especially as of right now. Like, the Dark Ether camo literally looks like the Exo Zombies Pack Punch camo, and it really looks nice. So their camos in this game, for zombies wise, is still very nice. But for the Pack Punch camos, I'm just upset to see that there is no Pack Punch camos. And it definitely does, like, very upset me. It's not the biggest thing in the world, it's not going to upset me. It just feels satisfying to see that camo when killing zombies and stuff, and it's just a very nice looking weapon. And of course, I'm still going to be Pack Punching in this game, whether there's no Pack Punch camo or not, because it still helps. But as a whole, it was definitely upsetting to see that there was no Pack Punch camo in this game. Now, there is probably, before anyone says anything, this doesn't mean that there's not going to be a Pack Punch camo for the whole of the game. There probably will be when a round-based map releases or the Easter egg releases in Season 1. We'll just need to see what that brings us. But as well as right now, I am still quite upset that there's no Pack Punch camo. Now, as for Wonder Weapons, the Wonder Weapons, there is no such thing as Wonder Weapons on this map. There's no ray gun, there's no dies, there's no unique Wonder Weapon related to Duran Fong. It's definitely very upsetting, because it feels weird as well, because we went from where the ray gun was super good back in World at War, and then it slowly started to die down, and in BO4 it just raised up a tiny bit, and then Cold War it went to absolute heights. Like, Cold War's ray gun was nuts, it was crazy, it was amazing. And just to see that the fact that it's like not in this game, no Wonder Weapons at all, it's very upsetting. And even if they didn't make the ray guns super godly in Cold War, at least bring it in. Give us a Wonder Weapon, Treyarch. It would have been very nice to see if they did bring it into this game. And I'm just very upset that there is no Wonder Weapon at all. Like, even if you brought in the worst Wonder Weapons that the community thinks, like the VR11 or the Winter's Hell from Black Ops 1 specifically, like, as a whole, like, just bring in something, please. That would have been very nice. Am I upset that there's no Wonder Weapon in the game? At the same time, yes, but no. Because it gives you a chance to really just focus on ranking your weapons and just leveling up for camos if you wanted to. But at the same time, if you're really that person who really doesn't care about camos and just wants to go for the high rounds, especially when there's no Easter eggs or high rounds as of this moment, or round-based maps as of this moment of time, you would definitely want to go for a Wonder Weapon instead of just a normal weapon. Because I've been stuck with the MP4, the SCG, the Tommy gun, and I really don't know what the meta is yet for what is the best weapon in Vanguard Zombies. And the only highest round I've made it to is round 20 in this. Like, that's how difficult Vanguard Zombies is, because it doesn't treat it as if it's normal rounds. Well, it doesn't matter, well, oh, if you kill 6 zombies, there you go, round 1's ended, and then you kill 8, round 2's ended. No, it's every time you do an objective, and for that, when you're on round 7, it feels like you're on round 15. Like, that's how shit this difficult is. And as a whole, I don't know who's gone the highest round yet. I think possibly the highest round might be 33, but my god, it is very, very difficult in this map. Really, very, very difficult. Now, another negative thing that I do want to say is really the field upgrades. Now, the field upgrades, I'm going to talk positives about them when we get to the positives, but for my negatives, it's how they are basically nerfed in this game. Now, and Ring of Fire is very, very buggy at the moment, but I'm not going to talk about the bugs of Ring of Fire right now, but basically Ring of Fire, it doesn't last as long and it's not as super strong when you're shooting enemies. It does the same thing as Ring of Fire in Cold War, but it doesn't output the same damage to zombies as it did in Cold War, which was very upsetting because Ring of Fire was definitely very helpful for going for those high rounds. And it would very much help if the Cold War Ring of Fire came back for something like this as well, especially how Vanguard zombies is quite difficult. So, Shark, please consider buffing Ring of Fire. So, yeah. The other thing too is that there's no upgrades for them. That you cannot upgrade field upgrades in this game. You can upgrade the perks in this game still, which I'm glad Treyarch still kept, but the fact that you cannot upgrade the field upgrades like they did in Cold War was very upsetting. Of course, the way you upgrade perks and just the way you upgrade everything in this game is completely different compared to Cold War, because they done it where as soon as you got something up to tier 3, it was permanent. It was tier 3 permanently. Every time you went into a game, it would be tier 3. Or it all depending on what tier you're on. For instance, if you get to tier 5 speed cola in Cold War, every game you go into, it will always be a tier 5. In this, it always takes you down to tier 1. And you just need to keep using it over and over and over again to the point where you're at the maximum tier, where you need to drink Juggernaut 4 times. There you go. You got maximum jug. And I think that is very, very, very cool. And I'm glad they still add that in, and I prefer the Vanguard system within that, but I'll get back to that in a second. And I wish they would have done the same for Vanguard zombies, where you need to use the field upgrades a specific amount of times for it to upgrade. Say maybe 3 times to get to tier 1, then maybe 5 times to get to tier 2, and then maybe 10 times to get to tier 3, and then maybe 15 times to get to tier 4. I personally wouldn't mind that, to be honest. I think that would actually be very, very cool of Treyarch to do. So yeah, that's really one of my biggest negatives, that basically they've nerfed field upgrades to literally oblivion, and the fact that you really can't upgrade them. So it is very upsetting. Even the base versions of the field upgrades in Cold War were still better than the base versions of the Vanguard's versions. So it's definitely very upsetting, but hey ho, they might buff in the future and they might give us upgrades in the future. But as of right now, I'm very negative on how they never brought in field upgrades. Well, they never brought in upgrades for the field upgrades in this game. That's why I'd say I'm disappointed within the field upgrades. But aside from that though, they're still very, very cool. One of my biggest things about Vanguard zombies is that there really isn't much to do. Now, granted, I woke up this morning and I was actually quite excited to play Vanguard Zombies after playing it for 7 hours last night. And holy shit, I'm actually quite enjoying myself right now, as of the time I'm recording this video. But holy crap, is there really much to do once you get past round 6 or 7? No, because what I liked what they did was they started you off with multiple portals and 3 separate challenges. There's only 3 separate challenges. There's only 3 challenges within Vanguard Zombies, and I wish they'd done it where that would always be permanent, where you could choose what challenge you want to do out of the 3 portals. Within Vanguard, once you get up to round 6 and you open up the whole of the hub area in Stalingrad, that's it. You only get 1 portal and it randomizes a challenge to it, where to the point it's basically Outbreak. It is very, very upsetting, because I definitely did like that, where you could basically choose what challenge and what map you wanted to go to first. But it's not going to stay like that for the whole entirety of the game. It's just going to be like that for the first 5 rounds until you get to round 6. So it is definitely very upsetting, and I wish there was more challenges and more areas to the point where they could do stuff like that. Or maybe, even if it doesn't matter, you could just put in 3 portals where you want to go to Shinonuma, the Wenma map, or Hotel Royale, and you can choose what challenge you want to do. That would definitely be so much fun than it is already. But hey, I don't work at Sharp, but I'm just saying that would have been a definitely cool idea for them to do. But that's really all the negatives I have to say and out of the way. But let's get into the positives. My really biggest thing about the positives is the way everything looks. The way everything looks in Vanguard Zombies is definitely amazing. One of my favourite things when I looked at the trailer and played the game was how the field upgrades look. The way the field upgrades look in Cold War were cool. They were called W.A.N.D.S, which is wands, just scientific tools. But in this, they're artifacts. And I think that the way they look in Vanguard is way more cooler than they look in Cold War. Not the way they play out, but the way they look is definitely way cooler than Cold War Zombies. And the way everything mainly looks in this game is definitely very cool as well. And I'm glad that they did that for this game. Now, as a whole, it's just very nice looking, and the way the gameplay works in this game is very. I don't want to say it's very much similar like Cold War, but it definitely has the Cold War mechanics, you can say. And of course it does have its Vanguard feel, where it has the tac sprint and it has the mountain and stuff, but it doesn't feel but that only feels like you would want to use that stuff for multiplayer, whereas in Vanguard Zombies, I'm not using a lot of mountain. I just feel like I'm simply just playing it as a whole, you know. I feel like I'm not playing Cold War Zombies, but for some reason it feels like it in a way. And y'all can comment saying, oh, you're just a Cold War Zombies fanboy and shit, but hey ho, I love Cold War Zombies. But as a whole, as of right now, it definitely does feel like, in a way, I'm playing Cold War Zombies, but not really at the same time. But y'all can comment what you think about that. But one thing that I definitely will give this game is how the upgrades work in this game, specifically for the perks. Now, the perks in this game are definitely very cool, because if you guys didn't know, and I did say this earlier, when you got to tier 5 Juggernog, or tier 5 on all the perks, it would stay like that permanently for every game. Every time you bought stamina up and it was tier 5, it would be like that for every single game you booted up. Whereas in Vanguard Zombies, it starts you off at tier 1 every single game. The first time you buy the perk, it will be for free, and then the second time, it will be 2,500 points. Then for tier 3, it's 3,000 points, and then for tier 4, it's 7,500 points. I really definitely did like how they done it in Vanguard more than Cold War, because it gets you something to do, it gets you something to grind for, it gets you prepared, you know. I really did like how they done it in Vanguard more than Cold War, and that's something, because Cold War Zombies is definitely my second favourite Zombies game as of right now. And holy shit, I'm just glad they did some improvements from Cold War and they brought it into Vanguard. Now, another thing I want to talk about as well is the Rarity system and the Pack Punch system. The Rarity system and the Pack Punch system have been put in together. Well, when you get to Pack Punch tier 1, it's a blue Rarity. When you get to Pack Punch tier 2, it's a purple Rarity. And when you get to Pack Punch tier 3, it's an orange Rarity. So they basically put the Rarity system and the Pack Punch system at the same time, which I definitely think is cool. The only one thing I would personally change is where they would have done it like they did with the ammo mods, where in Cold War Zombies, if you pressed R1 or LB or whatever it is on your controller or PC, whatever, to switch from ammo mods to just normal Pack Punch, well, you just can normally Pack Punch, and then you can just choose your normal Rarity depending on the amount of salvage you have. I wish they would have done that, but it definitely is an improvement to how Cold War done it, where you don't need to go to separate machines. As soon as you Pack Punch once, you're at a blue Rarity, and then when it comes to purple, you're at a purple Rarity, and then when you get Pack Punch tier 3, you're an orange Rarity. So yeah, it's cool and all, it's just how I wish they would have separated the Rarity system and the Pack Punch system in the Pack Punch machine. But apart from that, I definitely think it's definitely an improvement. Now, one thing I definitely want to talk about, and this definitely blew me out of the water, was the Covenant system. Now, the Covenant system is basically the ammo mod system, where you get your fireworks, your brain rot, your cryo freeze. But the one, and this is something I was very worried about when I saw this in the Vanguard Zombies trailer and how it was explained. But when playing it for the first time, holy shit, it is definitely really goddamn cool. It changes it all the time, and the ammo mods have its own rarity. As you go up the rounds, as you did see there, I was at dead accurate blue, but then there was dead accurate purple, and all I had to do was trade in a heart for just one heart, just to get a purple upgrade for the one ammo mod I have, which is dead accurate. And it's definitely one of the coolest systems ever, because it basically made ammo mods better. And as it goes on, those ammo mods will get buffed. They will go to legendary tier, they can go to rare tier, epic tier, and they all cost one heart no matter what tier level it's at, which I definitely find is really, really cool. So big ups to Treyarch for doing that. Another negative that I do want to say, which I did forget to mention, is the Xfil system. I'm glad they did bring it back, don't get me wrong, the Xfil system as a whole is definitely very fun. But the thing is that kept you at the edge of your seat when doing the Xfil system in Cold War was that there was a timer. You had to kill a limited amount of zombies in a certain amount of time. Whereas in Vanguard, there's no timer at all. This might be the case where they add in round-based zombies maps in the future for all we know, but as of right now in Dur on Fong, there's no timer, where you basically just have to kill a certain amount of zombies, and there you go, you get to the portal. There is a timer for you to get to the portal, but there's no timer for killing the amount of zombies for the portal to open. So that's why I really wish. So they basically done a switcheroo where you did kill all the zombies, the timer didn't matter in Cold War Zombies. But in Vanguard, where you do kill all the zombies, it really doesn't matter until the portal opens for you to escape. So that is really another negative there, but the fact that the Xfil system is still in the game, I really, really do like. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about Vanguard Zombies as a whole. Really, again, I liked Outbreak and I did like Cold War Zombies as a whole, and I do like how they basically done Onslaught, Outbreak and Round Based all together. And I definitely do see the problems that people have when it comes to saying, oh, it's worse than BO4, it's worse than this, it's the worst zombies ever, and they give their reasons why. I can definitely see where people are coming from on this. But as a whole, I don't think this is the best game. I don't think it's the worst game. I think it's okay to me, in my opinion. Because I woke up this morning actually feeling quite excited to play this game. I don't know why, I just all of a sudden did. But as a whole, there's definitely a lot of changes Vanguard Zombies needs to improve upon. And I hope like other people who have done reviews and stuff have just have looked at it and went, right, we need to improve on this shit right away. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about Cold War Zombies. There's really not even much to say apart from the fact that it's not the best, it's not the worst, it's not in my top 3, nor is it in my top 5. Even though there's 9 Call of Duty Zombies games as a whole, I'd say it's maybe in top 6, maybe top 7, I don't know. But as a whole, I'd say Vanguard Zombies is okay at the moment. It's not the best, not the worst, it's okay. And that's my personal thoughts on what I like about Vanguard Zombies. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please subscribe, leave a like, click the notification bell, always subscribe to the channel. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about Vanguard Zombies and what do you guys want Rarity to improve upon, what do you like about it, what do you dislike about it, and let me know in the comment section why. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video live stream, boys. And goodbye!